for your attendance here at this Licence and Board meeting this morning. I'll be convening the meeting. I'll just go through the protocol before we start. All visitors must sign the visitors book at the entrance to Kilncraigs. This includes council staff from other buildings. There is no planned fire evacuation drill or alarm test today. If the fire alarm is activated during the visit, you must exit the building immediately. The council officers will direct you to the nearest fire exit and will escort visitors to the building fire assembly point beside the Silver Man at the top of Parliament Walk. Kilncraigs staff should report to the floor's assembly point. You should remain at your assembly point until directed to reoccupy the building and only re-enter once the fire marshal has advised it is safe to do so. Please do not attempt to leave the site by vehicle until cleared to do so by the fire marshal to ensure access routes are kept clear for emergency vehicles. Please note that this is a public meeting and that members of the public may be in attendance. The meeting will be recorded by the clerk and published online for public viewing. The taking of photographs, including screenshots, audio or video recordings are not permitted during meetings unless with the express permission of myself. Can members attending virtually activate their cameras where possible to enable you to join by video? And can all attendees mute your microphones when not speaking? Please do not come in during the items unless I invite you to do so. If members attending virtually wish to speak on any point, please indicate by clicking on the raise your hand button, and members in the chamber should also raise their hand. I will bring you in at the appropriate time. If members have not been able to access all papers for the meeting, please indicate. Okay. Before I ask the clerk to deal with the roll call, last week at a meeting here it was difficult to hear what was being said in the chamber virtually. So I'm just going to check that the people attending virtually can actually hear what has been said in the chamber. Councillor Keogh.
Hi Kenny, the screen's blank.
Can you hear okay?
Can hear okay, but I can't see a thing.
You can't see a thing?
Can't see anything, no, it's blank.
Morning, convener, Alex Green, Gostrok solicitors. Just to let you know, I can see you and I can hear you okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Janet Hood here, Janet Hood Training and Consulting Limited. I can see and hear, thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
No, it's still Christian, Kenny.
Do you think if you come out and come back in again, that'll make clearer?
On gallery mode, you might be able to see us. It might be the way that you set it up.
Well,
See something new.
When you
See
can see
the
us
Kenny.
rather
you see me now?
Yeah.
Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but clerk, you call the roll call.
So we have confirmed apologies from Councillor Lindsay and Councillor McCluskey. Have we had any communication from Councillor Benny?
You just tried to contact me there just now, so she might be in attendance.
Okay. Okay, the speakers will be. Okay. We move to the agenda. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Okay. Item 3 on the agenda is the minutes on page 5 of your papers. It's page 5, page 6, page 7, and page 8. Is that true an accurate record of the previous meeting? Agreed. We'll now move on to item 4. The first one is a non-minor variation in the name of the Wolfpack Inn. Representation for Wolfpack Inn.
Janet is Wolfpack.
Richard?
Good morning, convener, your honours. I hope you're all well today and looking forward to making this presentation. This is a fairly simple presentation. There's only one thing really changing. The function room at the top of the premises is being sorry. I beg your pardon, I forgot to turn the camera on. The function room at the top of the premises is being converted or has been converted into a radio station and for Radio 4th, and it seems to be able to function perfectly well. The function room wasn't being used much before this occurred, and this appears to be a good use of the space. The premises will run as normal on the first floor, or the ground floor rather, of the premises, and there will be no change to any of the activities which take place on the ground floor there. I don't think there are any real issues with regard to licensing matters concerning the use of the premises as a radio station in the function room, and I move the grant, subject obviously to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Paul?
Yes, I've got nothing further to add in the content of my report that's been submitted in your time to read and digest. I'm sure it's not a particularly long report. There's been a bit of work going on in the background to get to this stage. As I'm sure the members are aware, we're now at a stage where we're quite happy with the work that's been done and the way it's been done. There are the outstanding matters in the background, the matters for another department within the council to continue to deal with. And the only thing I would highlight is the contents of paragraph 6 and 7. The application indicates, or the operating plan indicates that certain activities will happen out with the normal core hours of the business, which is quite common across Clackmannanshire. That doesn't mean that they're able to sell alcohol out with these core hours. It's just that, and I've only highlighted that in case of any misunderstanding. The applicant and the holder of the licence is well aware that to sell hours of alcohol out with these hours, they would have to make an application for extended hours, which obviously would be processed in due course, but nothing else to add.
Okay, thank you. I see, Mr. Mickey, is it?
Yes.
Would you like to address the board?
Sorry, I missed that, sir.
Would you like to address the board?
Sorry, my speakers aren't working well. I apologise.
Excuse me, please, convener. Mr. Mickey has instructed me to represent him, and he is here more of an observer, unless you have any particular questions for him, if that's acceptable to you.
That's perfectly acceptable. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Members, do we have any questions on this application? No questions? We'll then move to the vote on this application. The members accept the application?
Okay, happy to move approval. Grant, depending on, I'm happy to move grant in the application.
Okay, can we second it? Second. Okay, that's granted.
Thank you very much, convener, your honours. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. My clients are delighted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. Next one is Morrison's. I believe they're there we go.
Morning, convener. Morning, your honours. Alex Green, Gostrocks, on behalf of the applicant, and I do have Kenny McKinney's area manager with me, just in case there are any operational questions that I can answer.
Yes, good morning. This is an application for a variation, a non-minor variation to the Morrison's Daily Store at 107 Main Street in Socky. It's existed there under the Morrison's banner for quite some time now. They are seeking to vary their licence to include home delivery of groceries and alcohol in their offering. The board may recall that very, very recently, in the most last review of the statement of licensing policy, we discussed at length home delivery of alcohol, and the board made it very clear that they would like to see home delivery of alcohol specifically mentioned on the operating plan of any premises offering that, and that may include the addition of local conditions. And this is one of the first of what might be a few applications that come before us to add home delivery onto the operating plans of existing premises. You will see that the concerns about the home delivery of alcohol, it's something that I think is adequately covered in the statement of licensing policy, and that I've provided conveniently for everybody the extract from the policy about what the board agreed ultimately before it was published. The only additional thing I would suggest is that it may need some additional local conditions. I've listed these local conditions in Appendix A to my report that I've suggested may be appropriate and may well be necessary and expedient for the purposes of the licensing objectives. The board can have a look through these, or may well have already had the opportunity to look through these suggested conditions, may wish to alter them, may wish to use them as they are written. And of course, the applicant may well have some comment to make on these suggested conditions. Prior to submitting my report, I discussed the possibility of local conditions of this type with the applicant. They didn't express any particular concern during the discussions. However, having seen the suggested draft of these local conditions, they may have something to say. But I would suggest that these local conditions are necessary and expedient for the purposes of the licensing objectives, of course subject to anything that the applicant would wish to add. But that next time.
Thank you, Bob. Before we move to questions to Paul, go directly to Mr. Green.
Good morning, convener. Yes, thank you to Paul. I'll start off with my finishing line, which is yes, of course, we fully agree to all of the local conditions that Paul has suggested. So no issues there whatsoever. I'll be very quick, Your Honours. Morrison's Daily, very experienced operators, over 1,200 convenience stores throughout the UK. Morrison's took over the McCall's chain a couple of years ago and have been converting these across to Morrison's Dailies ever since. This store on the main street doesn't cause my clients any concerns whatsoever. It's a low-risk store, barely any issues, staff are experienced, etc., etc. The application, as we've heard, is simply to add the provision of home deliveries to the operating plan, something that we've been doing across Scotland over the last 6 months. Invariably, the deliveries are handled by third-party delivery companies such as Deliveroo and Just Eat, who are very experienced following all the laws when it comes to what can and can't be done on deliveries. Sections 119, 120 of the Licensing Scotland Act make it clear what is and isn't allowed. And this, is, as we've already heard, is enhanced by your board's own policy on page 19. I can confirm, of course, that my client will comply fully with the law and your policy in relation to its delivery service. And just to reiterate, we're happy to agree to all of Paul's conditions, local conditions, to be added to the application. And so, yeah, I conclude by thanking the board for its time. And in light of what we've heard, I would respectfully invite the board to grant the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. Members, do you have any questions on this application? No, I see no indication. But I would move that we accept this application with the Appendix A, the conditions in Appendix A. Any, can I second it, please?
I'm happy to second, Chair. I have no concerns from what I've heard whatsoever to grant.
Members, we happy with the application?
Yes. Yes, Chair.
I see no counter indication. That's it, granted. Thank you very much. That's great for your time.
Thank you, Your Honours. Have a good day. Thank you.
Now we go on to item 4.3.
Could you vote the roll call, please?
Yeah. Okay, we now move on to item 4.3, which is a licence in Scotland, section 25 courtesy licence holder, and because I believe the business has been dissolved. Paul?
This is just a simple procedural matter being brought to the attention of the board and asking the board to note the facts that this licence effectively no longer exists. So we are Social and Recreation Club from Church Street, Alloa, were the holders of premises licence number CC137 that was issued on the 1st of September 2009. At some point in October, I believe, last year, they formally entered a dissolution arrangement through an agent who was supporting them through that process, and the club recorded that at some point in October that the club would be dissolved. So the committee of the club effectively no longer exists. Section 28 of the Licence in Scotland Act makes allowance for this procedure and effectively says that where the premises licence holder being a person other than an individual, a partnership or a company has been dissolved, that the licence ceases to have effect. This is merely to bring this to the attention of the board and ask them to note and record in a formal minute of the licence board meeting that they are aware that this has occurred and the licence no longer has effect. It's not revoked, it just simply has disappeared as such and cannot be reinstated without a new application. But nothing further to add unless there's any questions.
Okay, thank you. Members, do you have any questions on this one?
Can I just ask, have the holders been made aware that we're
Holders, it's as simple as the holders of the licence no longer exist.
Yes, right.
So there's nobody to make aware. It's like the committee were the holders of the licence, or the club was the holders of the licence, but the club no longer exists anymore. So there's nobody to notify. There are representatives, former representatives of the clubs that are aware of the situation, and that helps. But there's nobody to notify. The actual organisation is gone.
Okay, right. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you accept this? Do you accept this?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sure.
Right. We now move on to item 4.4. Members, we may wish to hold. You'll have to address it.
As item 4 is an exempt item, Chair, maybe best if you were to move into a private room to discuss further.
It's not best time to have if you move into a private room, councillor keep it to job.
Yeah.
So it's not best time to just make sure nobody is left on Teams. Put back to the record and ask anyone else that's not part of it. Leave them.
Well, first of all, we've got to agree to. So do we agree to hold this hearing this item in private?
Just some clue, what is this item? Because I'm not seeing it on the paper.
It's item 4.4.
It's not shown as blue.
It's not showing it.
Yeah, it's not colour coded, so.
Yeah, I think it's it.
Yeah, happy to hear it in private. I think given the circumstances that would be appropriate, Chair.
Okay. So can we ask that all members not connected directly with this application leave now because of Keogh will remain on screen?